Hello there, YouTube and YouTubers. It's today, January the 28th. It's one day before the next set is released on Magic the Gathering, Kaldheim. And together with you, I'd like to take a quick look at some of the new cards on the new set, especially this card, the Fearless Pub, which has, of course, the new ability called Boast. So we'll be talking about Boast for a little while. Well, if we take a good look at the Fearless Pup, we see that it's a 1 mana, 1/1 creature with first strike, and of course the Boast ability. First I'll read out the Boast ability because it has a bit of details which are at the same time quite obvious on first read, but also extremely important to keep in mind while playing with them. So the ability reads, activate this ability only if this creature attacked this turn, and attack it and use it only once each turn. So only when you're attacking, only once each turn, so you'll be using this ability on your own turn. One of the things that's quite interesting about the Boast ability is that you don't necessarily have to use it during the combat, you can use it after, as long as it has attacked and the turn has not ended yet. But most of the abilities of the Boast creatures, especially of the commons and also the uncommons, they mostly only work to make your combat a bit better. So one other thing to keep in mind with the Boast creatures is that, just like the Fearless Pup here, and also many of the other Boast creatures, they're all not that amazing if you never get to use, or if you're never in a position where you want to use the Boast ability. I would say that a 1 mana card, which only does 1 mana, 1/1 first strike, with no relevant creature type, so this creature for instance is only a wolf, and wolf is not a creature type we would often say is important in Magic the Gathering, that's not usually a good card. So the Boast ability is part of what I would say is the real cost of the card. So yeah, Boast creatures, only good if you use their Boast ability, which kind of makes sense. But it's a thing to keep in mind. So what does that mean in the end? Well, most Boast creatures, they don't work all that well with other Boast creatures in your deck. Because if you attack with multiple Boast creatures, it means that your opponent can make their blocks, and you will not always have enough mana in play to use each of your creature's Boast abilities. That means you attack, for instance, with 2 Fearless Pups. Your opponent has 2 creatures which are 2/2. They can then block both of your Fearless Pups, and if you have less than 6 mana, it means you can activate one of your Pups' abilities for 3 mana, and then you don't have the mana to activate the ability of the other one. So after using 3 mana into the ability of one of your Fearless Pups, still you will go 1 for 1, meaning your one card, the Fearless Pup with the Boast activated, will kill their 2/2, while the other Fearless Pup just gets eaten by your opponent. So that's a thing to keep in mind. I would say if you're making a deck, making a quote-unquote Boast deck is not really something you would probably like to go after. Other things that are also interesting about the Fearless Pup is they are only good when you want to attack. So when your opponent is ahead on health, or when your opponent's ahead on board by quite a lot, you will very likely not get to use your Boast ability at all. What does that mean? Well, it means that you will likely have to create an aggressive deck. Your deck will probably need more creatures than your opponent has in their deck. Your deck will also probably need cheaper creatures than your opponent has in their deck, so that you can start attacking and pressuring your Lifetime tool before they can do the same to you. Other things to keep in mind is that when you activate the Boast ability, that means that you have spent your mana already, and it means also that less of your remaining mana will be available. So your opponent will get the opportunity to first respond to you activating your boast ability. So maybe you make this creature a 3/1 first strike, hoping that your creature wins in combat, but your opponent in response says, well, you know what? I'll just remove your creature from combat through destroying it or bouncing it back to your hand. Or they will say, well, now that you've used up your mana and you don't have that much mana left, maybe none, maybe 1 or 2, I will use a trick on my own creature and make it even bigger, meaning that you, as the attacker and the owner of the Fearless Pub, will have attacked, will have used mana of your turn to make the creature stronger, the boast creature stronger, and still you will get to lose your card. In case your opponent uses 1 card to kill your 1 boast creature, at least you will go for 1. But you must remember that the remainder of that turn, so after your attack, you will have very little mana, and you have also lost a creature, meaning there's a good chance that the cards you can still play that turn are not very strong. And there's also a good chance that after your boasting has gone wrong, well, quite thematically I suppose, you will be behind on board, so be very careful about when you want to boast about your Fearless Pub's prowess in combat. But the other cards also. Boasting and it going wrong is one of the best ways to lose a Magic game, which is of course not what we want to do here. Boast is the first ability we'll be talking about on YouTube here, and there are of course many more other abilities also in the set. If you want to take a look at them, they'll be uploaded to YouTube, so click on the channel and you'll be able to see them. I hope you'll take a look, and yeah, have a very good day.